The rates in Port Augusta are just criminal. What you need...
It's a sentiment applauded by the 300-odd homeowners who turned up last night to fight Port Augusta Council's rating system. The public backlash has been gaining momentum since rates notices went out last week, many shocked to see how much they'd gone up from last year.
I have a problem with my rates. I've been here 13 years. My rates have more than doubled in that time.
Because our rates have been increasing and our wages haven't increased, and we just won't be able to afford to stay here.
Some people in this room are facing increases of over 20%. They're confused about why council continues to operate services that run at a loss.
In just what the council is doing, they need to be held accountable. They run a lot of loss-making enterprises. They've got their fingers in pies that they shouldn't be into. It's been going on for way too long.
Council says it has already made significant cuts to its budget, but that it can't just remove every service that's losing money.
We know we have to make some big changes to our business, which is services, and how we go about doing that. Now, some would argue you go through the big knife and you cut everything and everything's sweet and clean and away you go. But you've got to look at what the impact would be is if you do that.
Over 60% of rateable properties in Port Augusta received an increase this year. The remaining properties fell or stayed the same. Port Augusta Council says it's committed to a full review of its rating system so that in the future increases are more fairly distributed.
It's a huge issue, and I think it's time for us to now make a stand and work with the council to make sure that we can get this sorted out.
Lauren Rose, Southern Cross News. The engine room of our economy. The Treasurer has committed to giving small businesses $4,000 for every new employee hired. Port Augusta small business owner Mary McKenzie says that would have helped a lot when she opened her cafe, Mama Lou's.
Yeah, it would help contribute to cash flow and sort of maintaining the staff as well. Hopefully that'd help you get up and running. Especially being a new business, that would have helped.
Port Augusta Secondary School has also won big this budget. It's receiving $2.5 million for a new science and technology lab.
That will allow the school to inspire young people in relation to those areas and create new curriculum approaches and cross-disciplinary approaches to develop skills for the future, and in areas such as robotics, 3D printing, computer coding and other project-related curriculum.
In other regional spending, Port Augusta Prison is one of 3 prisons sharing in $32 million for new beds. The state government's $50 million support of the wireless steelworks is also part of this year's budget, as is the $20 million already announced to support Lee Creek. As for losers in this year's budget, the RAA is disappointed.
We were looking for more funding for the country roads, and in particular maintenance and improvements to those through the ongoing programs such as shoulder sealing.
The state's public servants have also missed out. They've had their wage increases capped at 1.5% per year. Lauren Rose, Southern Cross News. In April, the federal government announced Bandiuta near Hawker in the Flinders Ranges as the best option for a nuclear dump. Since then, those opposed to the nuclear industry haven't stopped fighting. Today, they took to the streets of Port Augusta to rally following a protest on Wednesday in Port Pirie. The main concern of the protesters, leaving future generations with potentially contaminated land.
The reason I'm here for is for the children. They're our future elders. They're the children. They have the rights to be able to pass on the culture to their children's children.
There's many generations of people have passed on. They left the land for us to care for, and we need to make sure that we care for the many generations to come.
The site would store nuclear medical waste from a reactor in Sydney. The group stopped at MP Dan Van Holst Pelikan's office. He pointed out the importance of nuclear medicine in diagnosing cancer and other diseases, but said he would support the community's fight. Greens candidate for Grey, Julian Marsh, was at today's rally. She said she was committed to implementing her party's no nuclear policy.
As the candidate for the seat of Grey this time round, I'll be concentrating on supporting the people who have actively opposed the waste dump proposal at the state level and also at the federal level.
Lauren Rose, Southern Cross News.